Hello and welcome to the Wednesday Word. I am your host of the Wednesday Word. My name is David Bradley, Senior Sales and Marketing Manager with Grant Cardone. Now, what do we do on the Wednesday Word? We take ordinary words, words that we use every day, words that we probably are taking for granted, and we look at them. We understand the definition of them, we understand the history of them, where did they came from, and how are you using this word in your life right now, and what are some ways that you may be taking advantage of? Not advantage. That's not a good choice. How are you neglecting? Neglecting the meaning of the word. Taking it for granted, not advantage. Taking it for granted. This week, what's the word? This week's word is plan, right? So there's a lot of different ways this word gets used. The best laid plans of mice and men. If you fail to plan, you're planning to fail. What other colloquialisms and sayings can you come up with about the word plan? So, definition. From the dictionary, I'm just going to read it off to you. Plan, a detailed proposal for doing or achieving something. So think about some things that you would like to do. Think about some things that you would like to achieve. Do you have a plan for those things? Okay. Next definition. An intention or decision about what one is going to do. Okay, more on that in a minute. Decide on, arrange in advance. Design or make a plan, something to be made or built. Okay, now, when we look at the history of the word, the etymology, the meaning, when you come to scheme of action, design, that was first recorded or used in 1706, possibly influenced by the French word planter, meaning literally to plant, okay? And then from the Italian planta, which means, again, plant or grow. So, ready for this? Wikipedia is going to bring this word home for us. It's going to say a plan is typically any diagram or list of steps with details of timing and resources used to achieve an objective to do something. It is commonly understood as a temporal set of intended actions through which one expects to achieve, wait for it, a goal. So, let's do an exercise that sort of brings all this home, okay? This exercise is not my exercise. This comes from the president of Cardone Training Technologies, Senior Jared Glant, good buddy of mine. If you've watched Jared rise through Grant's organization, you will see somebody with a plan, first and foremost. Okay, so he did an episode of Young Hustlers a while back about plans and about goals. And I'm going to share with you just the bullet points of it. So when we think about plans, there's three kinds of plans that Jared says you should have. The first one is a life plan. The second one is a day plan. The third one is a sales plan. All three of these things need to be put together, need to be synergistic, and all three need to connect to each other. Okay? So when we look at that definition back in Wikipedia, temporal set of intended actions, or any diagram or list with steps that details timing and resources. Okay, so let's start with life plan. Here's what I want you to do. Close your eyes for a second, not if you're driving, and I would like you to answer the following question. Maybe spend some quality time on this after you watch or listen to this episode. Fast forward in your brain 20 years now. You're 20 years in the future. What specifically does your life look like? Where do you live? Who are you with? How much money do you have in the bank? What did you do for vacation? Like, have a very clear, specific picture of what your 20-year target or plan looks like. Where do you want to be in 20 years? What does your life look like in 20 years? So do that real fast. Do that first. And if you need to pause this to do that, please do so, right? That's totally cool. Pause it, grab out a notepad, and be like, okay, so it's 2040. What is my life? And then fill it in. Fill in the blanks, right? What does your life look like in 20 years? 2040. Next step is, that's the life plan, okay? Now we got to talk about the day plan, meaning what? What are you going to do today, because it's really the only moment that we have to create that vision of 20 years down the road. So there needs to be some very specific steps, measurable actions that you can do every single day that starts building towards that, okay? Meaning your day plan. What are you going to do today to make your 2040 vision, plan, goal a reality? So you got your life plan. Now we have a day plan. What are you going to do today to create that? Next, the final piece of the puzzle is a sales plan. So in order for you to have a successful day, you're going to need to sell something. And it's not until you sell something that you don't start building and creating your 20-year picture, okay? So once you're in front of a customer, when I first got into the auto industry, I was selling cars in Van Nuys, California, and the vice president of the company at the time, his name is Howard Tannenbaum. He, good friend of Grant's, by the way, he gave some advice about how to be successful in sales, a very simple concept. He goes, you're either with a customer or you're looking for one. And if you're not doing one of those two things, you should be getting better or training on effectively looking for customers and being with customers. So once you're with one, so part of your day plan should be about how do I get in front of more people? And then secondly, the sales plan then is what am I going to do with them when I get in front of them? Okay? So you need a sales plan. You need a sales cycle. You need to figure out the best way to greet that person, figure out what's important to them, how to present your solution once you've selected that thing, submit a proposal to them, and then ask them for their business. And if we don't, well, even if you do close, we got to follow that up. Buy or no buy, we got to follow it up. So you need a sales plan to go into that. And the thing is, these things need to be rote for you. You do not want to get stuck thinking about any of this stuff. You want to go into work every single day with a very clear-cut picture of what your life plan looks like so that when you're at work, you're on purpose. Your day plan is on purpose. It is very much focused on creating your 20-year down the road, okay? And that day plan needs to be tight. So it doesn't require thought. Thought is a low-level activity. Action is what we want to be doing. And when we get into sales, when we get into the sales plan and we're executing on it, we need to know exactly what it is. We need to know exactly where we are in it and where we need to end up, which is a closed deal. Okay? So you need to work your sales plan out in a way that you don't need to think about it, that you can just, now you can go. Okay? So life plan, day plan, sales plan. Do you have one? Do you need help creating it? If you do, that's what I'm here for. You can call me right there, 310-777-0352. You can also shoot an email out, david@grantcardone.com. Put in the subject, plan, and just leave me a little note. Hey, I need help coming up with my life plan, my day plan, or my sales plan. And I'm happy to be of service to you if I can in any way, shape, or form. Thank you so much for coming in with me on the Wednesday Word. Looking forward to next week where we're going to talk about what's next week's word, what's it going to be, what's it going to be, what's it going to be. Let me tell you right now. The first step of the sales cycle. I'm not going to tell you what that is. You guess. If you think you know what it is, shoot me an email, david@grantcardone.com, or leave a comment in the section below. See you next week.